Asra Nomani. It was quite telling. I looked, Asra, good to see you, some pictures from the protest as it was still going on in New York City. What was flying? Some free Palestine flags.
Exactly. And I don't know what you did showing up to work today. You had the best excuse.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Here we are, and I was on the job at the corner of 7th and H Street Northwest, right in the heart of Chinatown. And the early image that viewers saw was of these protest organizers at work, on the job, bringing these signs in for their so-called radical activists. And what are these signs? These are signs, when I show you the fine print, you'll see it. Yeah, got it right off the streets because they like to leave their trash behind. I did figure that out. Stop ICE terror now. And what do you see in the fine print? You see the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And what we saw today was a classic communist tactic to try to have economic shutdown in order to show government paralysis. Right. And this network of organizations today is also, follow the money, funded in part by the billionaire tech tycoon Neville Roy Singham, who is based in China.
Well, he's a piece of work, this guy. Call him a billionaire. I know he sold his company. Nobody's sure exactly how much he's worth, but he sold his company for $785 million. So he's well heeled. And his niece was headed up the Jews for Mamdani campaign. He's also a co-partner with the Communist Party of China's propaganda machine. He's working with them. How much of a role does the Chinese government actually play in funding the dissolution or the attempted dissolution of public order in the United States?
Yeah, it's such a great question. You know, what is clear is that they have proxies. And so Neville Roy Singham was born in America and he's living in Shanghai. And so he would become a proxy for the Chinese government propaganda machine. And that is what I think is so important for people to realize, that this imagery that we see of mayhem and chaos in the streets is right out of the media narrative that they want to create of an America that is an imperialist state, that's a colonizer, and that is in chaos, right? So this plays right into it. And one of the apparatus of this machine that was there in all of these protests is a little media channel called Breakthrough News. And it's also funded in part by Neville Roy Singham, and what it does is it puts the propaganda into people's phones immediately.
Let's move on to this, Asra. Larry Krasner, the George Soros-backed Philadelphia district attorney, is not sorry for vowing to hunt down ICE agents. In fact, he's doubling down. Watch this.
The point I was making is actually very straightforward. When you kill people, we can hunt you down and bring you to justice in 10 years or 20 or 30 years.
But couldn't you have made that point without comparing them to Nazis?
Why would I do that? The reality is they're taking almost everything they do out of the Nazi playbook.
This man knows nothing about justice. He's done more to coddle criminals and empty the jails and getting rid of cash bail for an array of offenses, and then treating actual victims and law-abiding citizens like detritus. He is an abomination, Asra.
Well, you know, he's also, doing something straight out of the playbook of these protesters, which is demonizing and vilifying federal agents. And that's part of their narrative. And that's exactly what happened out of Minneapolis, right? The killing was immediately turned into a martyr mythology for them on Saturday when they turned Alex Preddy into a hero, even though it was more complicated, his narrative as an activist. And so it's this constant attempt to try to vilify and demonize, and that fits this media narrative that they're creating of an America that is a colonizing imperial power.
Asra, thank you so much for the work you do. I've been doing it for a long time. Nobody does it better than you, and we need you now more than ever. We're very, very happy to have you here at Fox.
You're my favorites. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
David, can I say one thing? The simple ask is to allow ICE to collect criminal illegal aliens in the jails, to protect the criminals, to protect law enforcement and protect the public. And these cities will not do it because they want people harmed to further their socialist communist message.
And I want to say the obvious, which is that the Nazis were responsible for the murder of 70% of Jewish citizens in Europe during World War II. How that compares to what ICE is doing is an insult to the memory of all those millions of Jews who were murdered by the Nazis. How dare they? How dare they compare? Enough that they do that to our ICE agents, but to discredit the memory of the millions of Jews who died under Nazi rule is shameful. And that's our point of view. Well, a federal judge ruling today that accused United Healthcare CEO killer will not face the